the people what is necessary.
Republicans do not have the votes in the Senate.
You don't have the votes. You need congressional approval because you don't have the votes. Because the filibuster requires... I only saw the play once. You see, Republicans, your little evil budget plan might have worked if you hadn't forgotten that one Senator Schumer is Charles in charge of the Democratic Party. I'm afraid your diabolical scheme has been foiled.
Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer set off a firestorm heading into this weekend when he changed course and announced he would vote to move forward on a Republican-backed funding bill.
Turns out you had the votes. Republicans had the votes. What the happened?
I will vote to keep the government open. I believe it is my job to make the best choice for the country, to minimize the harms to the American people.
But you had said it was terrible. And wait a minute. Oh shit, I know what's going on here. All right, I know what's going on here. All right. Yeah. You had me going, Chucky. You probably got a little something out of this, didn't you, old C-shoe? You wouldn't have given up that powerful leverage on the budget for nothing. My guess is Chucky got some cheese.
Did Schumer get anything from Republicans in exchange for those Dem votes?
He did not.
Senator Schumer, no disrespect, but you are a disgrace to Jewish stereotypes about financial negotiations. That's just... I thought the whole point of us is that's what we do. But you're out there. How much is it? $5. How about I give you $7?
Around for the latest episode of As the World Turns Slightly Unhinged. First up, our beloved former, what word are we using for DT? The president. He seems to have more trouble navigating Air Force One than a drunk leprechaun on roller skates during today a St. Patrick's Day parade. Seriously, every time he steps on Air Force One, it's like watching a live episode of Dancing with the Stars, but with more gravity, less grace, and like Judge Janine Pirro has been at the wine box. Anyway, speaking of St. Patrick's Day, let's not forget our favourite political leprechaun, Marco Rubio. Oh, little Marco, always dressed like he's about to grant you 3 wishes. If only one of those wishes could be for a coherent policy idea. Possible. Rubio flips more positions more often than a pancake at a roadside diner, and with less sizzle as well. Rubio is actually like a magic trick gone wrong. Every time he opens his mouth, well, his credibility disappears. Did he have any in the first place? Should we throw in Chuck Schumer, TikTok, the master of the Senate shuffle? That guy's got to go. Chuck's the kind of guy who'd bring a spreadsheet to a potluck. Lately, he's just been dancing around the gob. Well, he's been getting on his knees and whatever. It's like last call at an Irish pub, trying to decide whether to be the hero or the designated driver. It's just Chuck. There's a really, really good expression. Chuck off might be the word. It's like watching your grandpa trying to use or play Minecraft. He's not sure what he's doing. I'm not even going to say bless his heart. He's trying. Time's up. Boat sailed. Jog off. Anyway, back to Trump. He recently bought that red Tesla because nothing says I'm with the future like jumping into an electric car while trying to bring back coal jobs. I had no idea how that... Can he drive? He says he bought it because he likes doing things the old-fashioned way. I guess for him that means buying America from a company led by the world's richest South African. On a temporary work... Oh, he has a full work visa now. Okay. I'd love to see the receipt. Did he actually pay? Bad deal if he did. Have you seen Trump lately on the tarmac? The guy it's like teeters around like he's walking on a cobblestone street after a night out in, well, Dublin. Good night out, by the way. Air Force One might need to install those handlebars, you know, like you see in retirement of those adverts, the retirement home showers. Anyway, back to Rubio. Bless his heart, excuse me. Keeps trying to catch the rainbow in the Senate, but it turns out it's just the neon light from the Democrats leaving him behind. What's going on with the Democrats? Marco's got that magical ability to be both everywhere and nowhere in every policy debate. He is like a leprechaun, only less effective and definitely less lucky. And Chuck Schumer, navigating Congress like a sober man at Mardi Gras. He's been wrangling his party like cats at the dog show. Chuck, again? Look, he was asked about his stance on the latest budget. I think Chuck probably wishes he could just blend into the background like a chameleon at a Skittles factory. Anyway, as St. Patrick's Day rolls around and everyone's feeling a bit Irish, let's raise a glass, mug of hot chocolate, to our political gods. May your words be sharp, your stances be firm, and may none of you ever find yourself trying to dance a jig on Air Force One. Because let's face it, some spectacles are just too painful to watch. But to be fair, I'm enjoying Schumer. I mean, grind it, and then again, chuck off.
They could fire half the workers in the federal government. It would have been a far worse consequence.
So he's saying that the path that House Democrats wanted would have presented a worse consequence. Is he wrong?
He's absolutely wrong. I mean, look at the reality of the votes, right? I understand that the American people are frustrated. Please believe many of us did not sleep because we were calling and trying to impress upon the senators the importance of pushing back in this moment. And as you saw, we had all but one Democrat in the House that voted for this. So that's 212 Democrats in the House. And then you had the vast majority of senators vote for it or vote against it as well. And so the idea that Chuck Schumer is the only one that's got a brain in the room and the only one that can think through all of the pros and cons is absolutely ridiculous. And Jake, you and I both know that this administration could care less about whether or not they violate the law. We know that we've had to rely heavily upon the courts. And I want to say, as you're talking about the polling on my party, I want to say that it is the Democratic attorney generals and some governors that are standing up against this administration and bringing those lawsuits and winning every single time. They are losing in court. Could we do a better job of making sure that the American people know that we are winning in the courts? We probably could. But at the end of the day, it's still Democrats that are winning for the American people.
Some progressive groups are calling for new leadership in the Senate for Democrats. Even House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, your leader, he was asked if he supports Schumer as leader of the Senate Democrats, and he said, next question. Do you think Senate Democrats should replace Chuck Schumer?
I think Senate Democrats have to sit down and take a look and decide whether or not Chuck Schumer is the one to lead in this moment.
You're close with Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York. Some of your fellow House Democrats say, and not just progressives, by the way, we've heard that moderates have said this too, that they're ready to support her to challenge Chuck Schumer in a Democratic primary. Would you get behind that?
That's 4 years from now. If you were asking me at least in 2 years, then I would have an absolute answer. But I can tell you that there are a lot of people that are watching his leadership in this moment. This is the moment. We don't even know what elections will look like in 4 years if we will have elections. And so I definitely think that younger, fresher leadership may be something that many of us, not just depending on what part of the spectrum you're on, but many Americans may be looking for, especially in the state of New York.